What's up guys, my name is Your Heroes and welcome back to more Gates of Hell. Now if you notice if I sound a bit hoarse or my voice sounds different, it is I've just had a really bad cold and my voice has been really bad and I've been coughing really bad as well, so I do apologise if I do cough through this. I'll try and mute myself if I can, but if I don't then I do apologise. My cold's just been really bad this month, so I do apologise. But today we are going to be focusing on Development Blog 144 or Dev Diary 144 Community Update 3. So if you don't know what the difference between Community Update 3 and Dev Diary, Community Update is all about what the community gives to the developers so they can give ideas, so they can base it up, put new ideas into the game based off the community members, where Dev Diary is just information given about the game that the Dev Diaries have put in the game for themselves, if that makes sense. And this was released on the February the 10th, on Saturday there, but of course, with me of course not being 100% and don't upload on weekends, then I thought I may as well better do it now. So what is in Community Update 3? Well, we're going to be talking about quite a lot of exciting and good new things, especially two really good things I'm going to be excited to talk about is the new PvE Gamemode, as well as the new tutorial missions, which are really exciting as well. And of course others are being like Sound Overhaul and the new human skin models, as well as Optimisation. So if you guys like to see more of this on the news update of Gates Hell, then make sure you subscribe if you're new, like down below. And I think my last development diary was a couple months ago, or not months ago, a couple weeks ago, so make sure you go check that out to stay updated in all Gates of Hell news. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm not doing this on a Word document as I usually do, it's because I feel like there's a lot of informative information on this, and there's a lot to get through that I feel like you just need to kind of read it based off this article. So I'm going to do the best I can to get through as quickly as I can, but also make sure you guys understand it as well. And of course, if there'll be things that I might not fully understand, so if you guys feel like you could add anything onto anything that I maybe missed or I don't understand, then let me know in the comments down below. So Community Update 3. So what did we add? We get requests for every development category from our community. In fact, there are so many it's impossible to fill all of them. Some requests might not fit our design choices, for instance, requests for prototypes or designs that never appeared on the World War II battlefield in real life. Then again, that still leaves plenty of options. Let's have a look at the community suggestions we selected. So let's go into the first kind of major things of this update, and it's optimization. We have been working on optimizing the game. We have addressed a bug that created frame drops. Apologies. Additionally, our lead programmer has been optimizing the mesh group technology, which will improve the overhaul performance. That is amazing to see, because as you know, that frame drops is probably one of the biggest issues we have in this game. And especially when it comes to multiplayer, as you know, and when connecting with another player from a different server, from a different country, then you're always going to have like frame drops issues, or because someone's creating from another server from a different country, so you're always going to have that issue there. But now that they're actually adding a new optimizing technology to the game, this is really going to change things for the better. The results are extremely promising. Improvements during testing show significantly fewer frames being dropped during camera movement. So that is really good to see. So when you're in game and you're trying to move about, so especially a perfect example, a really good example is that I've been playing a lot of Gates of Hell lately, especially multiplayer when I'm recording with Sir Jellybean doing our Conquest series, is that when we first spawn in, my game lags, and while trying to look through the whole map, trying to see it, and Sir Jellybean's already looked through the map, so there's a wee bit of lag, and I feel like that's a massive issue, especially when you're trying to scout out the map and trying to understand the layout of the game, of the battle. So I feel like adding this is going to be a real beneficial improvement to the game, especially at the start of the battle when you're trying to scout out the map and trying to make sure you're maybe flank into a position where it could be absolutely useful at the start of the battle. We also improved performance on minimum and low settings and optimized US human skins and vehicles 3D models to reduce VRAM usage and added LODs. So that's absolutely amazing to see, because as you know, people who are on minimum and low settings really do struggle with kind of graphics quality in itself. So, but also with having lag, or frame drops, makes it even worse of an experience to have. So focusing on that, on the performance on people who do have minimum and low settings, really does kind of help them have a better experience of, experience to play the game, and makes them to want to play it more, especially on those low settings. So I'm really glad Gatesville are really focusing on the people who have low performance ratings on their graphics by optimizing the performance, by making it not so much as, by making sure the frames don't drop. And also with the US human skins and 3D models, because as you know, the biggest update to the game was Liberation, and the US, skins and vehicles were probably the hardest, frames for the game to pick up. So focusing on that as well really did help. Now there is a video if you want to watch it. If you don't want to, I might put it up on my channel on a separate day. There is actually a bunch of videos. As you can see, I think there's about 3 videos that Gatesville actually show you. So I might upload that tomorrow or during the week. So if you do want to watch it without maybe my stupid commentary, then I'll leave a link to their channel down below so you can go watch it yourself. On to one of the major or big updates that I'm really looking forward to, and that's the new PvE game mode, and it's called Last Stand. Now, as you can tell, it's kind of obvious what this game mode is kind of going to be about Last Stand, and that, to be honest, that goes for any games, as you know, a lot of other games do have a Last Stand game mode, which basically results in you going up against AI and see how long you can last defending the base. And that's exactly what this shows in this picture right here, but I'll read it anyways. Is that we are very happy to present a new PvE game mode, Last Stand. In this exciting new game mode, you'll be defending against multiple AI waves. This is an excellent battleground for new players to have fun with the game in its most comfortable environment, defending against enemy bot attacks in controlled manner. It's also an excellent opportunity to get your friends to play to get the game together. As with the other multiplayer game modes, you'll be able to change war periods, doctrines, and other settings. This is one of the 2 game modes that we want to introduce this year. A couple of points to take from that is, first of all, well done. Have to take my hat off to Gatesville here. A really good job, because we've been needing a new game mode, because we've just been stuck with, I think, is it 3 game modes so far in the game, and to be honest, all of the game modes have been kind of dead, to be honest, because most people are either concentrating on the campaign or the conquest. So adding a new game mode, a new PvE game mode, it definitely changes it up and hopefully brings, new game modes into Gatesville, more exciting, especially for the other game modes as well. Second of all, I'm glad you're able to do it against AI, because number one, if it was against players, you wouldn't have a lot of fun. A lot of people would be raging, and it literally just defeat the purpose of this game mode. And I know that's kind of stupid to say, because maybe some PvPs maybe do a last stand in other games, but for this, I'm glad it is against PvE. And with them saying it's in its most comfortable environment, I 100% agree. It lets new players understand the maps a lot better. So when you are playing maybe campaigns or something, and you want to play this, if new players want to understand maps more, I would recommend they play this game mode first and then play the campaign, because this allows you to understand different maps and different strategies and the terrains of the map, but also allow you to kind of know what it's like to be under pressure from AI, from a perspective of what it's like against PvP. Now, of course, PvE and PvP is a lot different, but the way that sometimes AI acts in this game is very, very smart. So smart, it kind of feels like a player v player. So in that sense, it gives you a wee bit of an idea, a wee taste of an idea of what it's like to play against other players as well in a PvE environment. So I feel like this is a really, really good game mode, and it says in a controlled manner. Now, I don't know what it means by in a controlled manner, because Gates of Hell AI is, I wouldn't say it's in a controlled manner at this current state in the game. I think that AI in this game can be a bit all over. Sometimes it can be controlled, but I feel like most of the times it's a bit wacky and all over the place and quite overpowering sometimes. So I don't know what they mean by in controlled manner. If they mean by kind of reducing the AI, or maybe having before you start the game, maybe have a section of selecting how hard you want the AI difficulty before you go into the game mode. Maybe that's what they're talking about, but I'm not 100% sure that the bots are control manner, and I'm more talking in a general term. So I'm quite confused by that, but also quite curious to find out what that means, and I'll definitely be doing a review on this game mode when it does come out, so stay tuned to the channel for that. And also, something to also take from this is that they said this is one of the 2 modes we want to introduce this year. So it looks like Gatesville have another game mode coming out this year, which I have no idea of. I might do a wee bit more research to find out what it is, but other than that, I actually have no idea what this is, and I'm very, very excited and intrigued to find out myself. So stay tuned to the channel, because I'll be doing a review and a chat about the other new game mode hopefully coming out this year. The next kind of thing that that's coming out is new human models, which is again always kind of coming into the game, because new models, I think human models are a big part of this game. And if Gatesville are always talking about how historical and realistic they are, so in that sense they'll be having to add new human models to the game. And on this it says, as they've discussed in developer blog 143, the new German and US models will also contribute to more optimization for the game. Despite the higher graphical fidelity, for example, one of the optimizations currently WIP is for the US human skins. These will have divisional patches as part of their meshes instead of being separate textures. This will reduce memory consumption. Now, that's really good, because as you know, when the Liberation DLC came out, the huge part of it was human skins, and how much the human skins and the faction itself just took up so much memory on your computer, and it really, really just wasn't good, because you had, not only did you just have the new US faction models coming, you also had new German units as well for models, human models as well, which really compressed your memory file when you download the DLC for Liberation. So the fact that they're now doing a divisional patches as part of their mesh instead of being separate textures, I think this will have a massive effect on you know, new gamers who maybe have lower quality, of who don't have a big PC, who want to play this game. So I know a lot of you who are currently playing this game may not have the biggest of PCs. So this will definitely really help your PC kind of feel as part as, you know, someone who maybe has a medium or a big, you know, PC for this game. So I really like Gates of Hell, how they're really concentrating on helping the PC users, or maybe have a low quality NPC, really help them to try and adjust to new models of the Liberation DLC and the skin models for US and possibly, it does say, and German as well. So really, really good that they're concentrating on that, because it definitely will help performance and performance rate, and also graphics issues as well, that you might be able to up your graphics as well for it. So really glad. They have engineered the human models to work as best as possible with the current game engine architecture, like mating a hand into its glove, which, to be honest, I don't really get that reference there, that thing there. If anybody knows, then let me know. The new German models have also used the fully modular approach we pioneered with US models. This means that modders can make their own combinations and customizations of human models without the knowledge of 3D modeling. That's absolutely amazing to hear, because, as you know, someone who doesn't know anything about 3D modeling, or even just know how to edit at all, this is an absolutely amazing thing. I really wish they did more of this, of being able to kind of edit things or edit stuff for Gem Editor, basically, to create the game. Because, I mean, I know you're only focusing on human model skin, but if you're able to actually focus on just the whole editor and how to actually edit the game or a battle, that would be absolutely amazing. But besides the point of that, the fact that this will make it a lot easier for modders to apologies. This make it a lot easier for modders to kind of understand the game a lot better and be able to make battles a lot easier without having the knowledge to understand the 3D modeling side of it. If that makes sense. But if any of you think I missed anything from that, because I'm not on the same level as modders when it comes to this. So any modders that are kind of, you know, for this game, then let me know what you think of this and whether you think this is a good change or not. Now, one of the other big major updates happening to the game is that the new tutorial mission. Now, as you know, that I have already made a video on my YouTube channel describing how bad the experience was learning the tutorial missions, and if you want to go see that video, then I'll put it in the link down below. Or, because, as you know, I thought that it was a really terrible way to help new gamers to want to play this game, you know, learn about this game, and it just wasn't. You knew how to throw a grenade, how to handle a gun, you know, how to drive, but other than that, people didn't know how to, you know, use a fuel tank, how to use a supply truck, how to do other small little detailed things that really helped towards making a difference in the battle. It says here that we're completely redoing our tutorials. As our game grows, it attracts more and more people from outside of the Gem Engine ecosystem, and their comments remind us that the learning curve is steep in any Gem 2 game. We are working hard to reduce the learning curve, and we expect that novice players will have way less trouble to settle in and have an overall better experience with these new tutorials, which I agree, because, as you know, that, as I've already just said there, that these missions were absolutely tutorial, and they were just so long as well. The fact that it was just you know, crushed into one just mission, and it was so long, and if you miss something, then you'd have to restart the mission. It just took so long, and people just didn't want to waste like 5 hours or like an hour in a time just learn everything in one, and it's honestly just so bad. Until now, The tutorial was one long mission, as I said. We've decided it was too long, and we've broken it down into several smaller missions where the players learn specific parts of the game. And this is actually good, because as you know, in Men of War 2, the game that the open beta for it, that the game that's not even released yet, that the competitors of Men of War Squad 2, they already have tutorial missions, but it's separate missions. So they didn't have one long mission, and that game's not even out yet. That's not being released till like next year. So the fact that they have it and Gatesfeld don't, it's quite concerning, I'm not gonna lie. As a result, players will be able to come back and revisit specific missions for specific gameplay aspects without the need to redo the entire tutorial. 100%. This is something that should have been done, near the start of the game when it was first released. I say that, in everything that I feel like has gone wrong, but for this, I feel like maybe at the start they didn't fully focus on the tutorial. I mean, it was there, but they wanted to focus on campaign missions, conquest, faction release, so I understand it, but it should have taken them a wee bit sooner, maybe a wee bit earlier on, to really recognise how bad the tutorial is. New tutorial are also more user friendly. For the first time, it will feature tool tips and explanation video pop-ups, which will make things much easier to understand. As a very nice spin-off, modders will also be able to take advantage of the new in-game video pop-ups technology for their own creation. This is absolutely amazing. I love this. I feel like a lot of games should do this, but I know one game where there's a tutorial, but it's just all in text. There's no videos, which makes it very hard as a dyslexic person, because when you're just reading a lot of stuff and the words jumble up, it's very difficult to understand it all. So the fact that there's now a video there that you're able to listen to, it makes it a lot easier for people who are maybe have learning difficulty needs or just want to learn the game in a more basic and simpler way. And by watching it, you're also able to copy it in the game to help you properly understand it. And for those in the own creations, this is amazing. Why was this not done at the very start of doing editing? Editing has been out for years in Gates of Hell, and it's kind of just copied on from Men of War Squad 2 and Call to Arms. Why is this just coming up now for editor? Why? 100,000,000%. Why was this not done years and ages ago? There is a section on Steam, which again is just all text, and it's very hard to understand, again, when you have learning difficulties. But why is this just being added in now? This is such a ridiculous amount of time to just add it in for now, for modders. Like, I'm not a modder, but I want to learn to be a modder, but with all that stupid text that I could get complicated up on, and for other people as well, it does not help the situation. And may I also say that making your own making your own editing battles is very difficult, and there's, like I said, there's no proper explanation for it. And I really hope these pop-up videos really do properly explain it, and it's not just as simple as, you have to press this and you do this and that's it. Properly explain it. Say, click here, this is what you have to do, and this is how you drag it onto the section. If you want to change this terrain, do this, do a wee bit of this. Properly just explain how to open a map. What do you do when you first open the game? These are some pop-up videos which maybe are some good ideas for it, but let me know down in the comments down below what would be some good pop-up videos for, first of all, for an explanation for the tutorial mission, but also for modders as well, to help modders create the game, to create battles of their own. Okay, on to the last piece of it, which is Sound Overhaul Part 2. Now, I'm just going to quickly have a wee here, or just quickly, that I'm not knowledgeable on the whole sound operation of this game. So if I sound like I'm talking out my ass, then I am, because I am not, again, the smartest person when it comes to understanding the sound overall in this game. But I'll try and do the best that I can to explain it. But if you guys feel that you could help me and let me know anything that in this that makes sense, and let me know in the comments down below. So it says, Sound Overhaul Part 2. So we're really excited to present to you the second part of our critically acclaimed Sound Overhaul. In Community Update 3, you'll be able to hear all the new tank gun and explosion sounds, which will make the game into an even more immersive and cinematic journey. Our sound designer, known in the community as Han M. Hai, summarizes the overhaul as follows. So he says that Sound Overhaul 2 aims to bring explosive and cannon sound layers up to the same standard as small arms set with Sound Overhaul 1. This means that the total amount of sound variation for these items have increased exponentially. I can't say that word, but you know what I mean. And an effort to both convey a sense of 3D space and keep the soundscape as interesting and as dynamic as possible, which is great because, as you know, the small arm sound is actually very, very good compared to, you know, the big explosive cannons. I don't think the big explosive cannons are as, you know, accurate as they were in real life compared to the small arms. You know, the small arms, you can hear when an M-Gran, you know, is out of ammo. You hear the ching, you know, when it's out of ammo. So it's really small detail to that. Whereas you know, the big cannon shells, you don't really hear kind of like the whistle that you hear when the projectile goes up out the cannon and aims to hit something. So really important to take note there. Each variation now consists of a 3-4 unique sound layers, which plays with each cannon shot or explosion. Like small arms fire, these fade into one another over distance to convey a sense of depth. This sound themselves have been designed to be realistic and impactful, while also being unique enough from one another so that with time, players may be able to discern, I think that's meant to discern weapons and explosions of different types and different types and sizes. Maybe not discern, maybe kind of like notice the different weapons. I think that's what it means. Even at the distance, Sound Overhaul 2 aims to bring a lot more intensity to the combat experience, and I look forward to our players experiencing it. I think it will have been well worth the wait. And that was by Hang In Hai, who was, of course, the moderator, or the sound developer for Gatesville. I've also introduced a new feature to the game. When a rocket or artillery shell flies by you, you'll be able to hear that whiz, or that whistle, as I just said there. Previously, we had a separate whistle sound to play with mortars, but now the sound is fully linked to projectiles. This is particularly immersive in third person. So there you go, guys. That was the Sound Overhaul Part 2. What do you think of it? Again, like I said, I'm not a huge knowledgeable person of that, but what do you think about Han M. Hai's changes to the Sound Overhaul in his Sound Overhaul Part 2? Let me know in your comments down below, but overall I think this is really good change, and I think this will make the game a lot more immersive, a lot more fun and historical to play. And also, of course, the 2 videos, which are your Overhaul Sample 3 and your Overhaul Sample 4, which I'll be hopefully uploading during the week to let you have an idea of what that's like. But if you want to check out, of course, on your own, then I'll leave down a link for the Gatesville channel. Now, as you can see, Sound Overhaul isn't something you can put together on a Sunday afternoon. Of course, we are very happy with the new sound design, and you'll probably agree when you hear it yourself as soon as Community Update 3 is live. So we are still in the middle of development. It's too early to determine the exact release date of Community Update 3 right now. However, it'll probably be done and tested mid-spring, which is good, which I think quite soon. I can't remember. We will also run an open beta for CU3 before release. We'll keep you posted, of course. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so, and also did you know that Community Update 3 is the 8th big free update for our game, which is absolutely insane, and Gatesfield do such an amazing job of, and this is a free update by the way, this is nothing you have to pay for, and it's absolute, the fact they're adding in a new game mode, new tutorial mission for free is insane. So this is why I really love this game, and for any new players I would highly recommend it. So what do I think overall conclusion is? I think this is absolutely an amazing update. I love the fact that they're now addressing a new game mode as well as the tutorial missions, which needed to be long overdue ages ago, but also with the video pop-ups, which are really good, especially in the modder section. I think is amazing. Sound overhaul, again, really good. They're making this game more realistic with the human skins as well, making more historical, more realistic to the game as much as possible. So there you go guys. What do you think of this content update 3? Do you like it? Do you not like it? And what do you think about the new game mode? Do you think it'll be worth it, or do you think it'll be kind of like a conquest knockoff where in the conquest missions, one of them you just have to defend against enemy waves? So anyway guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I do apologise for my cold and my coughing. I've tried to avoid as much as possible, but it happens to everyone. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and Osfrtont, and I will see you in the next video. See you later, and goodbye.